What's up, guys? We're back talking sobriety with Colin Morrison. I think we're on episode 50, 60, 70, maybe 32. I don't know, but we got a special guest, Shane Bess. Before you start talking, I gotta talk because this guy is somebody that I brag about more than anybody. When I was in rehab and somehow, waking up in rehab, I just don't know how I got to that point. But anyways, as time went by and I went through my 30 days of rehab, when I started to get my life back and feel a smile on my face from being sober again, I think day 30, Shane Bess, my good friend for many years, he showed up in rehab and he looked like he was on death's door. Like, it was crazy. I'll never forget that time when I think I was going to one of my meetings and you showed up and you literally looked like you were about to die, and you showed up in the same rehab facility as me, and I think it was the man up above, or I don't know how that happened, but let's just go in it. Let's just start off with what was going on. How did you end up in rehab when you saw me that one day? How did you end up in Kepper House? And that was the rehab we went together. How did you end up there?
Actually, I don't quite remember if I was court ordered. I think at that time I wasn't court ordered. I might have been on the run, but I basically had to go. Like, I was just entering homelessness. I had no more bridges to burn. I didn't have any more chicks to use, or my family, the doors were closed. Like, it was basically live on the streets. I was already kind of staying in a car, garages, whatever, and I just threw in the towel, dude. I threw in the towel and it was done. Hit my dad up. Want nothing to do with me, but I hit him up and I was like, look, dude, like, I know I've told you this story before, but like, one more time, like, make the call to your buddy that runs the rehab and I'll go. Like, I'll go 100%, I'll go.
And how many times was this rehab? Have you been to rehab more than once?
Yeah, I had been a couple times just to detox. I think I went there one time before that and lasted like 10 days and split. I was like, no, I'm not doing it, not ready for this.
So you thought this time was your time?
This time was my time. I was done. Like, I knew in my heart, I was like, we're going to do this 100%. Like, I cannot do this.
So I heard the story, and I don't know if you want to touch on it, but, I know you had a fiance or a girlfriend that was pregnant. Mm-hmm. And she got shot?
No.
What was that all about?
No.
Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, she nothing happened like that, nothing drug related. I was still racing at the time, had my best year, actually. It just happened racing, and it was the off season, and she had a modeling career. She had a good life. She didn't use. I was cleaned up at the time, and a valve or something was jacked up in her heart from a car accident years before. And over time it kind of like plugged up. They found it 5 years later, whatever it was, and they went in to fix it, and she died on the table. And that's when I accidentally got hooked on drugs. You know what I mean?
Were you clean before that?
Yeah, I was clean before that. I was killing that race and everything was good. I had prior problems, but I had cleaned up my act, and that's when I kind of just went back to that.
And after that, you just kind of just depression, and you were in love with this girl.
Yeah. Depression. Next thing you know, like,
it's funny how I heard that story, and like, it's funny how like stories change, and like I never knew that real story, but that's kind of, everybody has that one story. What led you into drugs, and do you think that was your
I've always been a knucklehead, so I always had fun and stuff, but I had myself in real good check. She was a good girl, and I had my act cleaned up. My racing career was going amazing after some tough years and losing a factory ride and this and that, whatever. Life was really good. I accidentally used the stuff to cope, and it accidentally just grabbed a hold of me and took me down to the ocean floor.
And you took the opiates to kind of forget about what happened with your girlfriend and stuff.
Yeah.
That's what happens a lot. I feel that we share kind of the same story in motocross. Not a lot of people, there's drug addicts every form, but you know, when we're riding dirt bikes and you're putting your life on the line every time and you're jumping in front of thousands, autographs, you know, and then breaking bones on top of that, it's very, very easy to get sucked into the opiate game, you know, and you know, but it happens for everybody. And yeah, your story's amazing. I mean, we can kind of touch who you are, but you were a prodigy. You were the #1 motocross amateur coming up in motocross back in the early 2000s. You were the guy. You were on covers of every magazine. You were Factory Suzuki. You were the next guy. People were talking to you of being like the next champion, you know? So how did that kind of...
You know, I mean, I think they tag everybody to be the next person.
But you were the...
I mean, I had it going on. You know, I had a good amateur career. I had a lot of wins, a lot of years at being a top Suzuki dude. I think that you don't get to be the next guy till you become the next guy. And I had some rough years. First couple of years were rough with injuries, but I definitely, was used to pressure being on me. I think I had a good future still going. But yeah, you get banged up your whole life when you're a little kid. You know, you're getting banged up, breaking bones, taking pills. You know, your mom's giving them to you, and they're half, but whatever. You've been seeing Vicodin since you were a kid. You know, it's basically Advil by the time you're 17, 18. Like, you know, you just been taking it for so long, whether it's in a honest fashion or not. You know, but once I got to be 18, 19, that's when it was like, parents aren't there no more checking on you, and you take a couple extra, and you're like, oh, I feel fucking good right now. Like,
and I think down the road, as we realize that we are addicts, that, you know, there are people that can take pills as prescribed, and then there's people like, let's say you and me, where you like the feeling, you know? I love the feeling of taking pain pills and just hanging out on the couch and just that feeling. And I think after time, when you create a lot of problems in your life, you take more pills to kind of mask the problems. And, you know, I don't think we're going to edit too much, but my goddamn dogs are barking, so let's edit really quick. A little bit of movie magic. We're back, and hopefully the dogs will stop barking. But we were talking about how there's two types of people that can take pills for what they're prescribed, and people that, you know, overtake them. And I think that's what I fell in. And then what I was also talking about is, as you fall in the world of addiction and you create all these problems with court and, you know, just lying and cheating and just getting in trouble, I think the more pills you take, you're just trying to mask. You kind of forget about all the problems you have in your life, but really you're just creating more problems. But you don't know that until you finally get sober and face the music.
Yeah.
And I think that's what, you know, you were kind of doing too. But how bad did it get? Let's get into the nitty gritty, you know, because people watch this, and a lot of these people, they watch this and they're like, wow, I've done what that guy's done. And we're trying to give hope to people so we can, you know, let people know how rad being sober is and how you can live every day with nothing in your system.
Yeah.
So how bad did it get for you, so maybe somebody out there can be like, wow.
It's bad, bro. Bad, real bad. I lost everything, you know. I lost just everything, everything that's material that you can have. I lost my integrity. I mean, I didn't trust myself, you know what I mean? I lie, steal.
Every addict's out there. Let's talk some gnarly stuff about drugs. Well, how bad did it get? What was some gnarly stories?
I mean, when you're
fucking
jumping fences to steal fucking cans out of people's side yard, like, that's pretty low, you know what I mean?
What was the story about you going into some house bleeding on your shirt from shooting up?
Yeah, dude, you're showing up to your birthday.
Tell the whole story. Get into detail.
Just a birthday, you know, like, I was hard to find when I was using, just like most of us are. Like, you couldn't really catch me. Wanted to be around too many family, like, events or nothing, but it was my birthday, so I couldn't really get out of this one. And I threw on a fresh white tee just to, like, you know, dress up a little, look fresh, and I mainly would slam on my neck, and
shooting up with a
neck.
needle and heroin in your neck.
Yeah, and so I roll into the restaurant with my whole family there, grandparents, and like on the white tee was just a puddle right here, like right on the collar, you know what I mean?
And not from shaving, from shooting heroin in your neck.
Yeah.
Did they know how bad it was?
Yeah, my family's pretty thuggish, ruggish, so my grandpa was like this, and I fucking went to the bathroom. I was like, oh, I had to go home back in the car, put a Pendleton on, you know.
How bad was it? Did your parents did they kind of give up on you?
Yeah.
They did?
Yeah.
They kick you out? Were you homeless?
I didn't live with them at the time, but I would go there, like when me and my chick would fight, I'd go back to someone's house and get away and try to do detox or whatever. But yeah, they were done. They're like, don't come here no more, bro. Like, you're not welcome here. The door's locked. Like, they wouldn't answer the phone calls, you know. I didn't need them a lot, but just to feel the door slam, like to feel your grandma or someone that loves you the most, my grandpa, my grandma, like, you know, for them to shun me, it was like that hurt, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, looking back at your history, you, from a kid like me, your whole dream was to become a pro dirt bike rider. Goes for anything, become a pro golfer, whatever. That was your dream as a kid. You achieved it.
Yeah.
You were getting free bikes, factory Suzukis, you were on covers, you made it. For most people, that would have been it. But, you know, it just shows how powerful drugs are and how they took over your whole life, and drugs robbed you from possibly making it to the top.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's why we're just trying to do this, to show people that it can happen to anybody. I go to AA meetings like you do, and you see doctors in there. You see people that you would never think that they have a problem. But I think for people like you and me that can be open about it, I think we're helping more people than just holding it in, going to meetings, and, you know, kind of keeping it to ourselves. And I think by being 100% open about our problems, other people are watching this and they're like, wow, I did the same thing, and if those guys can do it, I could possibly do it. Mm-hmm. So how did it change for you? You went to rehab. How did the glory of sobriety get into your life after you saw me in rehab? Let's just go back really quick. What did you feel when you saw me? When you walked into Kepper House, the rehab, and you saw me, what was going on in your head?
I was stoked because I like didn't want to really go. I knew I had to go. I had no options. It was like, you know, death or prison or, you know, clean up my act. So, but I was stoked to see you there. We grew up the same tracks, but I was like, cool, like someone that parties hard, you know, because anyone I've been around, like they're like, we party hard, we do drugs, and like they're bullshit, and they do like they don't party hard, you know. And I'm like, Morrison's here, he gets down. Like if he's here and he's clean, I thought you were still high, but I found out you were like just high in life, you know.
How do you think it would just be?
You're just too stoked.
I think a lot of people.
This guy's fucking still using.
I get a lot of people that still think I'm high, but you know what? It's high on life, and that's the beauty of sobriety, that you can wake up, and I tell people every day, I wake up like it's Christmas.
Yeah.
Everything I have, this materialistic stuff, I lost it all. I brag about my truck. I brag about this because I lost everything. I went into rehab with 2 T-shirts to my name. I met the love of my life out of, you know, it's just, you do good things in life, good things happen no matter what. But I think for you, and I think you are the all-star out of anybody I'm ever going to have on the show, I brag about you the most, is what you've done with your life now. It's not that you just got clean, you're holding it to yourself, and you're going to get a normal job. You have been going to college, working your ass off. Mm-hmm. You're an Uber driver just to pay the bills for your college tuition, to become a drug counselor, to give back. The ultimate thing that any person can do. Like, tell me your story about that. That's the most amazing thing ever to me.
Yeah, so
how you chose that opportunity, that job goal.
It kind of chose me, you know, just being there at Kepper House. Like I got the tools I needed to go out into normal life and get myself right. There's no miracle. You don't wake up and just be like, oh, I got it, you know, like it's taken me years. But I was inspired there by one of our counselors to go do this, you know, like all I know is dirt bikes, and my dad does construction, and I hate that shit, so I was like, what am I gonna do with my life? Like, you know, I can't. You gotta wake up someday. Like, dirt bikes is in the past. Like, I kind of want to be like one of these dudes. Like, you know, and out of the handful of guys that were there, I had a bad attitude. I didn't like most of them, but the 2 or 3 dudes I did like, I was like, these motherfuckers are cool. I want to be like these dudes right here, and be able to talk to dudes in my position now and help them get through another day. You know what I mean? Like, we don't all connect with everybody, but there's gonna be those dudes that only I connect with, and I just was like, let's do it. Let's go to school. Like, let's.
Yeah,
what
sure.
else? What? I have nothing else in life. Like, might as well fucking do something.
I feel like you are a very strong person. You can do anything, but for you to choose that path to help others, it's an amazing story, man. I'm so proud of you. You need to be more proud of yourself. I know you are, but like, you call me all the time. I'm doing this mouth test up till 2 a.m. You know, you're doing the right thing, Shane. So I'm so proud of you. So, I mean, you're an amazing person for everything you've done. How much clean time do you have right now?
I got 5 years, 2 months.
5 years, and I know after rehab, you went back out for a little bit.
I've had my slips, you know.
You had your slips, but you got back into it. And I think a lot of people out there, they get sober and they slip up and they get so down on themselves and they like want to put the flag or whatever and just give up and just go back to becoming a drug addict because they think they can't stay sober. People slip up, you just got to get back up and do it again. You did it. You got out of rehab, you slipped up, you got back. You went to the meetings again, you got back, and you're here. So to finish this interview up, what can you tell people right now that are watching this video and they want to get clean and they want to get sober and they just don't know how? I just say meetings, go to rehab. I get people on here because I want to. Nobody's got the right answer, right? If somebody did, everybody would be sober and it wouldn't be the biggest epidemic in the nation, the world. What would you tell people out there? How to get clean and how to change your life around?
Yeah, so the first thing I would ask them is to get honest with themselves. That's like the number one thing. Get fucking honest, get real with yourself. If you need help, put your ego aside, set the pride aside, and get help. Go to meetings. Like, nothing's just gonna make you better, but if you work on every aspect of your life, and if some are out of your control, like you might not get the job, you might not be able to make your money situation better, but if you can get closer to family, go to church, go to meetings, like network with people, talk to people, open up, like learn how to put yourself out there, it will come back to you and you will attract it, you know. But if you don't put yourself out there and start taking action, you're just gonna stay fucking stuck in the closet.
And it comes back in weird ways. You know, a lot of people, they see our stories, they think they're gonna go to meetings. You're gonna get your life back right after that. It takes time. For me, I say, be a good person. Put your ego down. That's number one. We went to rehab, and I remember so many guys in our classes, they thought they had it. They didn't think they could. They didn't want to listen to teachers. Every single one of those guys went back out. You got to put your ego down. You know, for us, we had huge egos. We got paid to sign autographs, travel the world. Put the ego down. Listen to what they say. Go to meetings. I like to tell people, go hit up 30 AA meetings in 30 days. It's free, and one of those days something's going to click, and, you know, it could turn it around. But, you know, it's different for everybody, and I hope people out there, you guys listen to Shane's story, and, you know, it's never too late. Go hit up a meeting, try to look into rehab, and, you know, Shane's doing it, I'm doing it, life is good. You guys might think I'm high, but I'm high on life, and life is a very rad thing. Anything's possible, and
it's fucking high on candy.
I am high on candy. I have a sprinkle addiction and candy addiction. But hey, it's a lot better than drugs, so I don't care what you guys say. But Shane, thank you so much, man. What's your Instagram so people can reach out to you?
Yeah, it's Shane Bess, Instagram.
Any underscore or anything?
I think it's maybe underscore in the middle. I think it's Shane Bess.
I don't know.
Shane Bess will come up.
He's high right now, so
You can
everything.
DM me, I'll respond.
Anyways, I'll put his Instagram on the credits, DM him, and thank you guys, and we'll see you guys next week. I love you, Shane, and I'm very proud of you, buddy. Boom. Out.